Meeting everybody. I would say the best thing that happened this week was all the friends that I got to meet.
Definitely traveling across the country. I'm from Alberta, so I come all the way to Nova Scotia for a free trip. You meet so many people, you get networking, you meet friends that can help you later on in life, you meet university professors and can help you, things like that. That's great.
You have to really be interested in what you're talking about, and you have to work really hard on it. You gotta get down to business.
Just get out there and do science.
At a week-long event like this, it's really fun at the same time.
Yes, the project is important itself, but personally my goal coming here was to meet everybody I could, talk to anybody and just get to know them, and I've got friends in every province now.
I'm Darren Rhodenhizer.
And I'm Sheralynne Deveaux. We have participated in many science fairs, including 2 nationals for Darren and 4 for me. With some input from others, we're going to help you plan, develop, and present your science fair project.
There are many levels of involvement: school fairs, regional fairs, provincial science fairs, and also the Canada-wide science fair. We recently attended the Canada-wide.
There were 660 participants at the Canada-wide, the best of the best.
450 projects.
There are over 500,000 students involved in science fairs, at all levels, Canada-wide.
My purpose was to find out, if any, in which fruit contains the most insects, Canadian-grown apples or U.S.-grown apples.
This project is geared towards environmental, contributing to a healthier environment.
It's really was exciting coming to Truro here in Nova Scotia. I've never been here before and I really love it here. Everything is so awesome, just the experience. It's really a great experience.
Just go out there and do it, because it's a good experience whether or not you continue on, and if you do, you get to go to this wonderful place and you get to do a lot of new things and crazy things and fun things.
If you decide to get involved in science fairs and want to be successful, there are some logical steps that you should follow. The toughest part is getting started, then developing your project, conducting trials, creating your display board, and presenting your results.
We've put a bunch of bonus material on this DVD. When you see this, it means that there's extra bonus material. You can access it from the main menu.
We recently attended the Canada-wide Science Fair and discovered that a lot of our friends had the same issues with getting started.
The challenges that you find when you're first starting a science fair project is actually finding an idea that you're interested in and is yet a problem for people, a relevant problem that you're actually interested in.
Getting the idea is really hard, getting that spark, that moment where you're going to do an effective science project that's going to affect society and change it in a new way. It's really hard to get that, but once you have that moment, once you have the idea, you're on to something good.
It's really important to choose a topic that you're interested in. Once your topic is chosen, narrow it down to something you can manage effectively. Darren. 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 It's really important to choose a topic that you're interested in.
Also, check early on to make sure there are good resources available.
Don't forget a timeline. This will keep you on track. Also, you will need a good logbook. This is a daily record of all of your activities concerning your project.
Some of the people we talked to had mentors. Here's what they had to say about that.
We had teachers and doctors and welders. We had a physiotherapist who helped us with the design of the project and what can be improved and what we should do. When we found out what we should improve, we went to Dalhousie, where we had physiotherapists and students help us complete tests so that we can have data about how our invention actually works.
So choose a topic of interest.
Start early.
Check your resources, work to a timeline.
And consider a mentor.
Make sure that your project can be completed in the available time. Okay, so you've chosen your topic, and you know you have a lot of available resource material. Your project also fits within a timeline. You may even have a mentor. So what's next?
Well, there are 3 types of science fair projects. Decide if yours is an experiment, a study, or an innovation.
We saw some great examples of experiments at the Canada-wide Science Fair.
Carly here has a great example of an experiment. So Carly, what makes your project an experiment?
This is an experiment because I manipulated variables and looked at the changes while comparing them to a control group.
Our project is an experiment.
Because we had a specific question that we wanted answered, and we conducted tests to find this answer.
Sheralynne, your last project was a study. Why?
My last project was a study because I examined fish found in different estuaries. I then looked at the bioindicators of those fish to determine the health of the estuaries. Your last project was an innovation. Why?
My last project was an innovation because my partner and I built a Stirling engine. Stirling engines are an existing technology, and we attempted to apply it in a new way.
So, by definition, an innovation is the development and evaluation of innovative devices, models, and techniques.
And an experiment is an investigation undertaken to test a scientific hypothesis using experiments.
And a study is the collection and analysis of data to reveal a fact or situation of scientific interest. To get your project started, you have to search the literature. Not that literature. What I mean is, look at what others have done before you on the topic and decide what it is that you want to do. If you don't properly search the literature, you could miss something, and then you'd have to start all over again.
I have an idea for my project next year. Remember when we were on the golf course yesterday?
Yes.
That's my project. I want to see if changing the type of golf ball has an effect on the distance traveled.
Sounds like an idea. I'll help.
Let's go.
So, what type of project is this going to be again?
Well, it's an experiment because we're controlling all possible variables, except for our manipulated and responding.
So, what literature have you researched?
Articles in golf magazines and other publications, online resources and test results, manufacturer specifications, and discussions with golf pros.
Before we start, we need to determine 3 things. What are our variables? What is the hypothesis? And do we need a mentor?
Woods, tiger.
I don't think so. So, what are your variables? There are 3 kinds: manipulated, responding, and controlled.
Well, my manipulated variable is the type of ball used, the responding variable is the distance the ball travels, and everything else is controlled. The weather's consistent, the club's consistent, and the swing's consistent.
Wait a minute, the swing is consistent?
Well, one way to compensate for inconsistencies in an experiment is to perform a large number of trials. The more the better.
Besides identifying your variables, the other important step in getting started is determining your hypothesis. What's yours, Darren?
My hypothesis is, if different types of golf balls are hit consistently with the same club in the same weather conditions, then the distance traveled will vary. You know, Sheralynne, we really should have got a golf cart.
Do you think you're going to find any new science with this project? Sometimes that happens.
No, it's not likely because we're using existing type of golf balls. If we were to invent a new type of golf ball, that would be new science.
Well, you've developed your project. Let's get on with the trials.
I think the trials went really well, eh, Sheralynne?
Darren, I think we were having a little bit of trouble with our controlled variables.
Well, once we sorted that out, our only manipulated variable was the type of ball. Our other variables, the club and the hit, were controlled, and the responding variable was the distance traveled. The more trials you do in any experiment, the more confidence you will have in your results.
9.532 meters.
Okay.
A well-organized logbook is a requirement too. Every activity and observation should be recorded.
It's an important tool for you, and as you will see, the judges will want to take a look at your logbook too.
It allowed me to formulate my ideas, as well as show the progress I've made over my science fair experience. Also, it was nice to refer back to things I've thought about at the very beginning and how my ideas have changed.
In an exhibition hall with 450 projects, you need to make sure your display gets noticed. Display boards should be attention-grabbing and easy to read.
Not only that, but they need to meet Canada-wide science fair guidelines. Your material should be organized in a logical order and readable from a distance.
If you make it to a national science fair, all the projects are good. So what makes one project stand over the other is the presentation and the visual display. Definitely some ideas are better than others. Some people have worked better than others, but you know, when you're competing for the top spots and all the projects are good, communication skills is everything.
And we have like an actual outline that we planned out.
And if you make a mistake, you don't want to show it. You want to know that, you want to tell them that you know your stuff, that you've studied and you know what you're talking about.
When they ask you the questions, you're not thinking about your presentation anymore. You're actually thinking about the questions, so it'll give you more time to answer the questions, actually.
First, I built 3 different rotational sensors, and they all use different techniques for measuring rotational movement. The second one was I characterized them.
I compared the vitamin C concentrations in organically grown oranges versus conventionally grown oranges, because I find for the average consumer there's not a lot of information comparing the two.
During a science fair, you can be required to make up to 15 oral presentations. They should be no more than 10 minutes in length, and it's important to leave time for any of the judges' questions. The more you rehearse, the better.
We rehearse it first of all to ourselves until we get comfortable with it. Then we rehearse it to our parents, see what they say.
The advantages of rehearsing is actually like knowing your stuff and reminding yourself over and over that you're the expert and no one else knows about it but you. So you have to be confident in yourself and what you're going to say.
Your logbook and your written report are an important part of your science fair presentation. The judges will want to see them. Another good idea is a one-page written summary that you can give to the judges and to others. Now that you know more about science fairs, we hope that you will get involved in one in your area.
You can even experience the challenge and excitement of a national competition.
With a little planning, an interesting topic, and an understanding of the rules, science fairs can be fun.
The topics are unlimited, and so are the resources.
We encourage you to get involved and enjoy the science fair experience.